The third topic is regulation of cryptocurrency. Regulation of cryptocurrency. See, what is this cryptocurrency? What is a digital currency? The difference between digital currency and cryptocurrency is what? What is a currency? It's a value, okay, given by the sovereign is normally currency. If you issue that currency in a digital form which is supported by the sovereign, it's a digital currency. Then what is crypto? It's a currency issued by the individuals with a particular logic. There is a logic behind this. And what is the technology involved in these cryptocurrencies?
Blockchain technology.
Blockchain technology. So what is this blockchain technology? Generally, people know that it is a blockchain technology. But how this blockchain technology is really creating this currency, that we need to understand. Because everyone talks about blockchain technology, but we need to understand blockchain technology. Why you need to understand blockchain technology, I will discuss at the end of this topic. Because that is where government of India is so concerned. Because the technology is important for us. Simply, I'll try to explain what is that blockchain technology. Then I'll come to cryptocurrency, and later we'll go for the regulation. See, blockchain technology means generally we call it as nodes. Node 1, node 2, node 3. Like n number of nodes are there. N number of nodes are there. And in one node, there may be some subnodes. See, simply just consider it as a PC, personal computer. One computer, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Likewise, we have the computers. I have solved a puzzle here. Puzzle. Some problem has given to us, and we have used our mind and we have solved it. The moment you solve a puzzle, you will get 1 point. You will get 1 point. That point is added to the existing whatever the inventory. The existing point will add one inventory. And everyone in this network knows that that point is generated. Everyone knows that that point is generated. If at all you want to do any mischief with that point, everyone knows that. Everyone knows that. Now, before that, I'll give a simple example so that you can understand. Suppose there is a record that you have stored in this particular computer. That record is shared with everyone. Now, if you are trying to do some sort of changes to that record, then everyone will come to know that that record is updated by this guy. Now, what you need to do? You can't do anything because a lot of transparency is there. Lot of transparency. Whatever happened to this, everyone knows that. Everyone knows that. Now, here I am giving an example of a single record, but in a technology, the blockchain technology means every node is connected as a block. Whatever you perform in this particular node will be known to everybody. It improves transparency. It democratizes the entire process. No mischiefs, nothing. It's completely open. So just think about only systems. Systems are interconnected to each other. It's not something like I'm manufacturing somewhere and I'm bringing it to the open market. No, it's not something like that. Every system is interconnected, and we are creating a different, we are solving a particular problem. Now here in this computer, I am solving a particular problem. And after getting a solution, I am credited with 1 point. Like any number of people can add to this existing network and everyone can solve. Like 10,000 people, 1 lakh, 1 crore, everyone can solve this problem. But once you have solved it, everyone will came to know that this person has solved and he got 1 point. And once you solve that algorithm, you will get 1 point. That point we will call it as this cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is nothing but it is a digital form. I cannot call it as a currency, but it's a digital some symbol generated out of solving a puzzle. Why he need to solve a puzzle? Why he need to get that currency? What he will do with that currency? The first question. See, I'll tell you how currencies works. Medium of exchange varied from society to society. Whatever the currency notes that we are using, this was not the medium at one point of time. If you go to the tribal area, they will use a different medium. If you go to the Mughal era, they used cowries as the medium of exchange. So what medium we are using, it's purely depending on society. If a society have a faith on a particular thing, they can do transaction with that. Suppose in a present day society, we will do transactions with the currency because it is guaranteed by the sovereign. Or otherwise, we will do transaction in terms of gold because we always believe that gold is having high amount of value. There is no scope for reduction of the value of the gold. And if you and me believes in a particular medium, then definitely we can go for that. Government is no way concerned to this because it's a private transaction that is happening between you and me. If you want to pay something to the government, definitely you are not supposed to pay on this. You have to pay only in terms of currency. But medium of exchange is purely depending on individual interest, and different societies are following different type of medium of exchanges. Now, what this guy, it was started by Satoshi Nakamoto. I'm not getting into the details of that because you need to understand what exactly this. Here, I have solved a puzzle. It's not a simple puzzle. You need to put lot of mind into that. You need supercomputers. You need to spend lot of amount of energy to that. And ultimately, you have solved it. Now you got a point. Or you can call it as cryptocurrency. Take Bitcoin in one among them. I have generated it. Likewise, the paper you are holding in your hand with a denomination of 2000 rupees is having some asset in Reserve Bank of India. Likewise, the digital coin that he is holding, he is having an underlying energy or effort that he has made to generate that. It's not a simple thing. The paper is also not a simple thing. It is having its underlying asset, but that asset was physically present somewhere. But this is a mental asset that is generated. That is how I have created this. Now I want to use this as a medium of exchange who is believing in this crypto, because it is also having underlying. And likewise, many people are generating their bitcoins. Now these people started exchanging themselves among themselves with these bitcoins. Now you as an individual, you have a lot of interest towards this coin. It's not a simple coin because I'll tell you an example, small deviation. Who has introduced the token currency first time in India? Who started token currency? Token currency in the sense, the paper currency. Muhammad bin Tughlaq has introduced. What was the problem with the Muhammad bin Tughlaq when he was introduced? He could not arrest the fate currency. That means he could not arrest that whatever the black they are generating. Duplicate currency. Can anyone duplicate this Bitcoin? Even someone can duplicate this 2000 rupees, but no one can duplicate this. So everyone is interested in generating the Bitcoin. The Bitcoin is having lot of underlying efforts. No one can generate it. And it is completely out of purview of the sovereign. Moreover, more demand is there for this currency. What stops from the government? It has all the features that like a normal currency is having, except it is not regulated by any sovereign. Its value is purely changing based on demand and supply. And as an individual, you find that every quality that a currency holds, that Bitcoin is or the cryptocurrency is holding, why should not I use? That is the reason why the demand for the cryptocurrency is increasing. Are you clear? Clear? Shall I move to next? And what about the students from online? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
I'll come to the next regulation topic. Yeah. Now, so that is what exactly the Bitcoin or the crypto. Bitcoin is one among the cryptocurrencies like Ethereum, and there are other currencies are there. You can have an idea. Now, lot of Bitcoins are generating, and it's not the Bitcoins. The trade on Bitcoins are increasing more. I think you understood derivatives. Derivative is not directly a trade on commodity. It's a commodity on an instrument which is drawing its value from the commodity. Here we are not here. Suppose if you are holding a Bitcoin with you, suppose a person X is holding a Bitcoin. Now we are fighting for this Bitcoin. Everyone is quoting for this Bitcoin. We want this, we want this, we want this. Now in this process, what is happening? What is happening? First one. We know that algorithms are difficult. But nowadays, many Bitcoins, many cryptocurrencies are coming into the market. We don't know exactly the mechanism behind that every cryptocurrency. We know that Bitcoin algorithm was so complex, we can generate hardly only few Bitcoins. At one or other day, this will end, but still the demand lies. It's not that easy. It consumes a lot of energy. It leads to environmental pollution. These are all problems are there. But we don't know the logic of every cryptocurrency. And today, there may be a huge demand for cryptocurrency. But if one or other day, after generating some 1000 Bitcoins, if the algorithm, because you don't know, it has inbuilt algorithm. After generation of the 1000 Bitcoins, if the program has become so simple and everyone can generate the Bitcoin, the value suddenly falls down. Did you get the point? Did you get the point? For 1000 cryptocurrencies, you can generate. You can put a lot of effort. But after 1000, it has become very simple for everyone to generate. You can do from your mobile or your PC. Then where is the value to that? Then who is going to responsible to that? Initially, you have invest some 1000 rupees per particular Bitcoin. Now suddenly it has become to 10 rupees or 20 rupees. 10 rupees or 20 rupees. So who are going to give guarantee to this? No, market failures, who are going to handle? No one is going to handle the market failures because it's purely depending on demand and supply. Demand and supply. So there is no any remedy for market failure. That is what you need to understand. Next. One more thing I'll add under the market failure point. See, people are so fond of Bitcoins and they are interested in Bitcoin. See, you are all aware about the stock market. When you want to invest in a particular company, either it is TCS or Infosys or some other company, you are completely aware about that company. where is this company, what are the products of that company, how that company business is performing, and how many employees are retrenched, how many employees are recruited, everything you know. But you need to analyze it. You need to analyze it. And based on the performance, generally you will invest in the shares of a particular company. But here, as a layman, do you know who is generating the Bitcoin? Do you know how that algorithm works? Do you know, does the person who is mining that Bitcoin, we call it as mining that Bitcoin, is having a sufficient amount of knowledge? Do you know the level of difficulty for upcoming algorithms? You don't know anything. Simply you are investing because its value is multiplying. Is it really acceptable? You may greedy. You are so greedy person. You want money. You want to earn so much of amount of money in a limited amount of money. But what means you are choosing? You are choosing a mean where you don't know anything. Simply you are investing because you are believing that it might become double or triple in a short amount of time. As a person, you may have a greedy, but like you, if 100 crores people are greedy, and ultimately if they lose, who is going to responsible to that? Ultimately, country suffers. Take the case of stock market. Why SEBI is there? Tell me. Company has started and they have their own business and they are issuing the shares and these people are subscribing. Why then SEBI? It's a private company, private individuals. These people are having faith on that company, and with that faith they will invest. If suddenly this company do some mischief, it affects lakhs of people. That is the reason why a regulation comes here. You are not investing in government. It's completely private to private affairs, but still a regulation comes, because if something goes wrong, and SEBI will allow not to do that, not to happen that mischief. Likewise, here also a governmental intervention is necessary, because people are not completely aware about this platform. And second one, that whatever the developers or the miners can do anything. That is why you need a regulation. That is why you need a regulation. Third point. Now, it is not regulated by the government. Government don't know how much amount of money that you are investing in this Bitcoin. Unfortunately, if the Bitcoin having some good prospects, and if everyone is investing in this Bitcoin, then you can easily invest whatever the black money that you have with you in these Bitcoins. You don't need to pay any tax. You don't need to pay any tax. You don't need to show any returns. Simply you can invest. If you are getting into losses, that's a different story. But if it works well, it can create a parallel economy. You all aware, like Reserve Bank of India calculate this money aggregates, it calculates the inflation, it is having money multiplier effect, everything. But that doesn't reflect the realities. Your Reserve Bank of India calculates that this much of amount of money is available. But actually that much amount of money is not available. Some of the money has already invested in Bitcoin, only limited amount of money. So your all principles, formulas not applied here, because you are not assessing the economy properly. So it leads to black money, and that black money will in turn make this system difficult to operate. Difficult to operate. Okay, next. Fourth point, some of the unscrupulous elements can misuse this Bitcoin, like terrorists, extremists, drug traffickers, anyone. So unscrupulous elements can misuse. And that is having serious impact on country's economy and as well as security. So that is the reason why, these are the reasons, that is the reason why government is thinking so seriously what to do with these cryptocurrencies. Should we ban or should we regulate? Should we ban or should we regulate? This is a dilemma. I'll come to these 2 points. See, there was a committee already appointed on this Bitcoin in the year 2019 by the then Finance Secretary Garg, G-A-R-G. And what Garg has said is, certainly we cannot ban these type of currencies, but to create an avenue for the users, government can promote its own currency. Government can promote its own digital currency. That's what one alternative they have said. See, again, digital currency is different to that of cryptocurrency. Suppose if it is a cryptocurrency, as an individual you are generating. But if it is a digital currency promoted by the government, who has to create? Government has to create. What is the intrinsic value? Like what is the normal value your note is or your coin is holding? Same value is held by the digital currency. The intention behind this recommendation is, nowadays people are so fond of using these digital currencies. Perhaps if we create a digital currency, people may use it. But the problem is, people are not interested in using this digital type of currency. People are more interested in using a currency which will give quick results. Because your outcome has to be improved quickly. That is what exactly the people want. People don't want to use a simple digital currency. But if you create your digital currency, will your digital currency will give that quick results? No. You are holding 1,000 rupees with you. Its value, will it increase? No, it's always 1,000. Until and unless if it is exchange value changes, and today with 1,000 rupees, you may purchase some 10 shirts. If the value comes down, then hardly you may purchase 8. If it goes up, you can purchase 12 shirts. But otherwise, its value won't increase. But whereas in case of digital currency, its value, whereas in case of cryptocurrency, its value is increasing day by day. Day by day. Its value is increasing day by day. And we want that. But government said, no. That committee has said, we may create another digital currency. I think this digital currency is not going to help at all. At all. At all. Because these don't give quick results. Second one. Ban. Okay, you will ban all these cryptocurrencies. In the year 2018, Reserve Bank of India has brought a regulation, a circular. What that circular is, suppose if you are holding the cryptocurrency, you are doing transaction with the cryptocurrency, you are having anything with the cryptocurrency, if a regular banking system came to know that you are dealing with the cryptocurrency, then you are not supposed to have an account, you are not supposed to have any savings, you are not supposed to do any transaction with the regular banking system. That's what Reserve Bank of India said in the year 2018. The case went to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court said that nothing doing, who are you to do that? It's not a proportionate. Do you know the proportionate principle? Generally, you will come across the in the Supreme Court judgments, proportionate principle. Any idea to anybody? Proportionate principle. It was mentioned in Jammu and Kashmir case also. Proportionate case. Proportionate principle. Proportionate principle. See, you want to achieve something. For that, you are imposing some restrictions. This restriction must be in proportionate to the results that you are going to get. It should not be like inverse. It should proportionate. I want to maintain a law and order in Trivandrum. That doesn't mean that I should not allow the people to come out of their home. I should not impose such a restriction. That is not a proportionate restriction. Did you get the point? Whatever the restrictions that I am imposing, that must be proportionate to the results what we are going to get. But here the results, what was the imposition that you have made is not proportionate. You want to regulate the cryptocurrency. For that, what you have done? You are saying like those who are dealing with that are not supposed to have any bank account with me at all. But anyhow, that's not our issue. Supreme Court has clearly struck down. Now the government of India is seriously thinking about bringing a new regulation to the digital currency. If you ban, what will happen is this technology end here itself. If you ban, this technology end here itself. But this technology is having lot of applications in our normal administration. I'll tell you. Again, in a minute, I'll come back to this digital currency, but I want to give. Suppose you are holding a land record data. Land record data. I'm giving an example. Land record data. Here you have the land record at the village level. This is at the block level. This is at the district level. This is at the state level. This is at the national level. Just assume. We have created some records here. No one can change this record. If you try to change the record, then it has to reflect here, and immediately these people came to know that. A very efficient utilization of record keeping can be done through this blockchain technology. Every block is interlinked. Every block is interlinked. Whatever you are doing is reflecting everywhere. But nowadays, hackers are getting into such a stage where they can also simultaneously hack all the system in the node. All the system in the node. Actually, hackers are learning to that, but still it is difficult. So the point is, this technology is helpful in administration. So the government is seriously thinking, we are not against this technology, but we are only against an application of this technology. One of the application is cryptocurrency. But apart from that, there are many applications are there. And if once you completely ban it, it will go to the outside country, then it is very difficult to harness the benefits of this technology. On the other hand, if you allow, what are the disadvantages just now I have mentioned, we are going to get. Then what they are going to do? I don't know exactly what they are going to do, but some people are suggesting a wallet-like approach. Wallet-like approach. That means whatever the money that you want to invest in a Bitcoin, it has to be enrouted through a particular wallet, and this is regulated by the government. Now government knows that in which Bitcoin they are investing, how much they are investing, why they are investing only in a particular Bitcoin, why they are only investing in a particular digital currency. Because they can understand why people are investing only in a particular company. What is the problem with that stock? Why the stock price is increasing continuously? And once it reaches a particular stage, then government will stop, like how it has done in SEBI. That's what. That's what. Some people are suggesting, but we don't know. But the people, the Bitcoin operators, who are doing, who are running, who are releasing, or who are mining their Bitcoin, are they interested in this wallet? We don't know. But this is one approach some people are suggesting. But anyhow, in the upcoming, actually, they told like in the upcoming parliament session, we may get a bill on that. But the recent news is that they may not take up this bill in the upcoming session. Maybe in the budget session, they may take, we don't know. But understand the technology involved in this, the benefits of the technology, what is the Bitcoin, how we can use it, what are the disadvantages. Clear? Okay. And one more thing is malware threat is also another problem, because it's purely run on cyberspace. No, we don't know what will happen. Market volatility, sovereign guarantee, risk in security, money laundering, everything you know. But malware threat is one important aspect. Okay.
Amrita IAS Academy.